it's almost impossible to give you all the details, but we give you the overall summary. And we have two basic assumptions. First, that each one of us has an unlimited potential that we limit with our subconscious acceptance of limitation. That if we can undo these subconscious concepts of limitation, what would be left over is the unlimited individual that we are. The second assumption is the basic law of this universe is harmony. It operates for the planets, it operates much more so for the animals, and is almost absent for man. And the reason for that is this subconscious programming that's holding it away from us. What we need to do is to get this constant involvement with the subconscious direction out of our way. And then this tremendous potential that is available to every one of us is usable by each and every one of us. We are now spending 99% of the time with our conscious mind holding down all the suppressed accumulation of feelings from the past. If all our anger came up at one time, we would be totally out of control. We might damage someone, and therefore we must necessarily hold down all that accumulated anger. The same with grief. If all our grief came up at once, we would be overwhelmed with grief to the point we wouldn't have control of ourselves. And this goes for all the emotions. There is so much of an accumulation of all these feelings from the past that we have to spend the major part of our time holding down these pressures. And I call them pressures because every subconscious feeling is wanting to come up and spend itself. And we are very careful lest it come up and get out of control. Now when these subconscious pushes and pulls and drives are dumped, we find ourselves completely at peace. No thoughts in our mind. No feelings except when we want a thought or want a feeling. And then by free choice, we put a feeling or thought into our mind and we carry it out. The before picture is we are being driven by our subconscious programming. The after picture is our mind is quiet, and only when we choose to put a thought or a feeling in do we do so. And we choose to use feelings in order to communicate with others. So whereas before we were a slave to our feelings, after our feelings are slaves to us. Our problem today is that the accumulation of the subconscious programming is so heavy, so extreme, we are just drowning in it. And we need a way of undoing this that is very effective. There are many ways being put out to dump this subconscious garbage. But we have discovered a way that is not known to the world yet by getting to the basics underneath it and undoing the basic so that it's like cutting the roots. We cut the roots and the majority of feelings go with it. It is a very effective method. It is a very simple method. We do give you a total picture of mind and feelings and how they operate. We give you a chart that becomes a chart of your subconscious mind that relates thought and feelings, how they relate to each other, how superficial feelings will subbase into fewer feelings that we call emotions, and how the emotions will subbase into two feelings that if we attack it there, we can undo all the feelings. It's so basic, it is extremely effective. Now there's a very interesting thing happens. As we rid ourselves of our subconscious drives, something takes its place. And that something is the thing we are all seeking, and we call that thing love. Our basic inherent nature is all love, only love. And it is covered over and smothered by our suppressed feelings. That as we dump these subconscious feelings, we become more and more loving. And as we become loving, the harmony of the universe that is there all the time begins to manifest for ourselves. As we dump these subconsciously suppressed feelings, everything in life gets better. We don't have to go for particular goals, although we may. Everything gets better. That is the nature of the world. It is harmony. I have given you quite a short encapsulation presentation, but I think if we open the floor to questions, we can relate directly to you and give you a better understanding. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and we will do our best to answer whatever your question is. Yes?
What is your technique?
It's a technique of first showing you the totality of mind, emotions, and how it all relates. It's a technique of getting your subconscious mind from out back there where you don't see it, right out in front of you, so you can work with it. It shows you the four things we can do with emotions, feelings. The worst thing we do, of course, is suppress it. The next worst thing, or better, is escape it. Movies and so forth. The third thing we can do, which is the beginning of a relief from the suppression, the third thing is express the feeling or the emotion. And the fourth thing is the thing that we work on. It is dumping the suppressed emotions. So when you see that whole picture, the picture of your mind, and you have your mind really down there, you'd be surprised what's in there, but when it's on paper and on a chart in front of you, it charts the whole thing, where you are, where you need to go, and it gives you the whole method right on that chart. It's experiential.